Yeah, what's good, everybody? What's good, man? How's everybody doing, man? Welcome back, yo. Happy Friday, we made it. We made it to the end of the week, man. We made it. We're at the weekend, baby. Let's close this week strong. Let's close the week strong, right? Let's close it out strong. So thank you guys again for joining me, and welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball, sports, and any topic that comes our way as accurate as possible. Now, for today, we're going to be talking about all USA basketball. We're going to start with the women's in a second, but we're going to be talking about the phenomenal game that we all witnessed yesterday. It was great. And as always, it's your host, your boy, Jayson Estrera. Now, before we move any further, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Like I always say, we're trying to take this shit to the moon, and that would help me a great deal. So thank you guys. So, first and foremost, like I said, instant reaction to USA versus Australia. We just watched it. I just finished the live. Team USA, the women's team, beat up on Australia for about 2 hours. They look head and shoulders better than pretty much every team. The only game so far that has been in question was that Belgium game, where I felt like they were getting no calls, and A'ja Wilson has been very adamant about the officiating through these games, and I thought that that's where it was probably the worst, and that was the closest that the any of these games were. And today it was, they were like cones out there. I'm not gonna lie to you. They were just running offense. As soon as everyone got comfortable, they were just getting through. Defense was really crisp. Everyone was rotating. It was beautiful to watch. Fully expect them to get gold. Had no doubts in my mind about today's game. I don't have any doubts about the next game. The USA team on the women's side, at least at this point in time, is probably closer to where the 92 Dream Team was compared to their competition. And, obviously on the men's side, we've seen these other teams really give them a run for their money. That feeds this narrative of, oh, the world is catching up. And to see the women's team dominate has been a pleasure. And like I said during the live stream, I don't know if my heart could have taken another close, super tight game, potentially losing, even though I had no doubts yesterday. But yeah, man, yeah. I'll be honest. I just want to talk about yesterday's game. So let's just get right into it. Was that the greatest Team USA game ever? Now, I can only speak for the men's side for the most part. Really. And at least for Team USA. I was in the comments reading what people were saying, and some people were saying 2008 against Spain, the gold medal game, 2012 against Spain in the gold medal game. Sir, neither of those games, at no point in either of those games was Team USA down enough to get some people to question whether or not they would win the game. And there were so many people saying it, and my basketball memory is pretty good. But there were so many people saying it that I started questioning myself. I said, did I miss something? So I went back and watched most of both of those games. And I get that in 2008, Kobe had scored or assisted in however many baskets in a row, hit the big shot to silence everyone. Yeah, that game was never in the balance. It just wasn't. So that was the greatest Team USA game ever. And it might be for the men's and the women's side for Team USA, because none of these women's game have been fucking close. Not to that extent. And the other part in it for me is, at no point in any of those games did Spain or the other team have potentially the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. And that, to me, was the difference. Right? Some folks really questioned this game and whether it was in the balance or not because of who was on Serbia. And it was just one name. And we'll get to how great those other guys were. But Nikola Jokic makes these guys a legitimate threat. His presence on the floor, his knowledge, his mind, it makes that team what they are. And all of those elements, all of the baskets, understanding what it would mean if Team USA were to lose 20 years later after 2004. Right? All of those things were in play. All of those ingredients make this the greatest USA basketball game ever. And I had already started mentioning him right here. But Nikola Jokic was amazing. He was spectacular. Any word that you want to describe. And it's not so much the points. It's not so much the assists. The way he's directing everyone on defense, on offense. Just knowing the timing to do certain things. They're throwing everything at him. For him to score, he has to go through the whole team. It's not easy. It never was easy at no point. And he competed, he fought, and they had a chance. More so than anything, I think, like I said, this highlights how amazing he is and his ability to make people around him better. And I think making players around you better goes far beyond passing them the ball and getting assists. How do you motivate them? How do you teach them? Do you learn from them? The respect that you give them. All of these things factor into that. These guys want to play hard for you when they're under you as the star player. That's not always the case. But no one ever has a problem whenever he takes these shots, whenever he does anything. That's a sign of a great leader. That's a sign of someone that really makes other players better. They want to sacrifice for him because they know that they're going to get their opportunity to step up, and they're going to step up. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Right? The attention that Nikola Jokic draws allows these other guys to get off. It just is what it is. There's no disrespect. You still got to go hit the shot. But that's the impact that Jokic has. So I want to give all the kudos to him. Like I said, he's been phenomenal. He's been great. And like I said, I think that just further proved to me why he's one of the, if not the best player in the world currently. It's just spectacular game by Jokic. And even further on this Serbian team, I couldn't believe what I was watching for those first three quarters. And I get we're going a little bit quick right now. I've been wanting to talk about these topics since yesterday. I couldn't believe what they were doing. We have discussed before that there are big shots, clutch shots prior to the fourth quarter, in my opinion, right? There are big shots to stop runs, to start runs, to try to deflate the other team, those are shots in the middle of a game that a lot of people miss, and that a lot of fans don't put any weight to. They don't put a lot of weight on some of these shots, right? Some of these scenarios. Serbia, for 3 quarters, damn near, was hitting every big shot. It was unbelievable. They obviously started off hot, and give credit to Bogdanovic and Ibrahimovic. Let's see. I want to get their names right. I want to get them their proper respect. Avramovic, is he had 15? Yeah. I mean, just like I said, I've never seen. I'm trying to recall where the team hit every big shot. You know, because here's the thing, right? Let's say you hit two twos, right? You're down, you're trying to come back, 2 twos, trying to start a run. That other team hits a 3 coming down on the other floor. That is a massive 3. It just erased those 2 possessions that you worked on. Constantly trying to leave a cushion, right? Or hitting shots when it seemed like Serbia was about to go on a little drought. They would hit a 3 to reignite themselves. They were hitting all of them. It don't typically happen like that. And they were, like I said, every single one. So I want to give a big shout out to Serbia that you don't typically see that. The fact that they were hitting every big shot, it was amazing. It was amazing to see. You're just sitting there waiting for them to miss because percentages would say they would miss. Experience say they're gonna miss, and it took them 3 quarters to start missing. It was incredible. And even in the middle of the third, they were still hitting shots here and there, tough shots. But yeah, especially a team like Team USA, right? That can make a run at any point. It could go from 0 to 100 very quickly. Those shots in the first, second, and the third quarter were massive to give them a chance. And Serbia gave themselves a chance. They just ran into the better team that just wasn't playing like it for most of that game. But yeah, all the credit in the world to Serbia. Like I said, they were wow. Now, I wanted to talk about this because this really was an Avengers ass ending. And I was talking about the psycho Steph Curry, right? Because he started the game scorching hot. The 17 of like their first 21 or something like that. He was on fire, hitting everything, turned around on Serbia, right? And the whole game played out just like a movie. When we start movies, the heroes, or the hero, in this case, that they get it going early. They beat up the motherfucker like it's easy work, right? He got off 17 points quick, turned around, was swagging on the other team. I think that kind of pissed him off. And the person that became the villain of this story was Bogdanovic. And Jokic, too, obviously. But Bogdanovic was playing with so much ferocity and so much fire. He was doing the 3 to the dome and then pointing at Melo. I get it was respect, but I know somebody should have knocked him on his ass. And they wouldn't have even been in this game if it wasn't for Steph Curry. Right? So I want to give him that credit because it was the Steph Curry game. It will be remembered as the Steph Curry game. That ending, though, that ending was literally pick any Avengers ending scene. Pick anyone. How do the scenes go when they're fighting? It's going to pan to Captain America fighting, and then Iron Man gets some shot. Thor. That's exactly what we saw happen. That was exactly what we saw happen. Kevin Durant. Bron was great the whole game too. Steph and Bron were great the entire game. They were consistent through the entire game. KD stepped up and running ISOs and hitting buckets. Joel Embiid, after Nikola Jokic was in foul trouble, fourth foul, Jokic stepping back really fast. Joel Embiid taking advantage of that, hitting shots. Outscored him in the game, by the way. We saw Devin Booker get in on the action. Bron was getting shots again. And then it circled back to Steph hitting shots. It was a movie. Everyone had their chance at the end. Everyone had a hand in that victory. It was so amazing. Like I never had a doubt that they would win the game. But the way they won it was just so special. Steph Curry, for the games that he's had during this Olympic run, he hasn't been great. We've been waiting for a performance from him. And boy, did he give us one. And with his effort to get us close, the rest of the boys rallied and helped him get it over the top. And it really wasn't Avengers ass. It was literally like the cut scenes. It panned. This person get a shot. It was incredible. It was incredible. And wow, just wow. You can't write it better than that. You can't write a script better than that. You really can't. The way that it played out, the way it went down the line. Like I keep saying, especially in these one-on-one scenarios, when the game gets tight, the ball's going to find your best players and the best players that can go one-on-one and have advantages. That's why the ball found KD, the ball found Joel, the ball found Bron. And then off of those actions, they were able to get a shot for Devin Booker, for Steph Curry. And Steph closed it out. It was just everyone played their role to a T. It was just so amazing. It was so amazing, man. Like for real, it was great. Now, let's see here. This is what Kevin Durant had to say.
Verbal, actions out well, played off of each other well. 14, and by our defense and getting out and running transition, we barely called plays. We just played off of each other well. It was a lot of nonverbal, actions out there. Guys just knew where each other were going to be on both ends of the floor. It was special, especially to be a part of Steph Curry. We talked about
And so, KD said right there, they barely called any plays at the end. I know I missed on Steve Kerr's ass. I'm not letting up. Steph Curry, yet again, bails out Steve Kerr. And KD confirms it. Because I've been saying from the beginning, this team needs very little coaching. You just have to put the best five out there, manage their minutes a little bit, who's tired, who's on, who's not, and just let them play. They can't get as prepared as these other teams. It's impossible in the amount of time. If you know anything about actually getting prepared and knowing tendencies and turning those things into actual habits, it don't happen in the amount of time that they've had, the amount of reps that they've had, especially when you add the fact that This guy, Steve Kerr, has been switching rotations every game. How can you find consistency? Teams that have a whole training camp, when you start shuffling their lineups around, can't find consistency. So go figure, right? Like I said, I think what Kevin Durant right there pointed out further proves, in my opinion, that Steve Kerr has been overcoaching this team. Because when they were the most efficient, the most locked in, when the guys that are supposed to be out there were out there, they were able to figure it out. They were able to figure it out and pull off the victory. And like I keep saying, you got to give a lot of credit to these players, because Steve Kerr, to me, has been putting this on Hall of Fame, max super difficulty, not playing certain guys. He has made the game so much harder than it needs to be. So much harder. And you got to give the credit to the players, because, like I said, they were going to get the credit to begin with. So why the fuck even try to meddle and try to get in between that? That's how it was going to shake out no matter what, Steve Kerr. And guess what? He's going to find out. He's going to find out. He's going to find out. Now, Jayson Tatum, again, got a DMP. And I didn't even realize this till the half was almost over. Guys weren't playing well. Anthony Edwards wasn't into the game. I was like, why the fuck isn't this guy playing then? If this guy looked like he don't even want to play. And I've been on the Anthony Edwards bandwagon. I think he's great. I think he's going to get better. He's gonna be even greater. But he wasn't locked into that game yesterday for whatever reason. Whatever the case was. I don't think it was probably. He just looked like something was off. You mean to tell me you can't add Jayson Tatum into that rotation real quick? You can't. You're so stuck in your ways that you can't change it up. Oh, by the way, between Team USA and Serbia yesterday, right? Between both rosters, there were only 2 All-NBA players. Can you guess who those 2 were? Nikola Jokic and Jayson Tatum. Out of all the stars on Team USA, there's one All-NBA first team player. And you can't find a spot for him. Like I keep saying, he's not a 6 foot tall guard that's a liability in size and physicality. He's 6'10". At what point did you see Bogdan Bogdanovic going crazy and say, why don't we throw Tatum on him? Contest the shot. Let's just see if it works for a couple minutes. He's already going. The other motherfucker already let him get hot. Even with your gameplay, you couldn't veer off of it even a little bit. Because you were so stuck in your ways. You had to play this out the way you did the first game because you didn't play him the first game, right, Steve? Two All-NBA players between both rosters. I agree, Elijah. Two All-NBA. I'm going to keep saying that. Two All-NBA players between both rosters. JT adds a lot of pressure and physically as well. Like I keep saying too, Elijah, here's the part. If you take his name off of his jersey, right? You take the team he plays for off of his jersey. You show people his numbers year in and year out. Finals appearances, conference finals appearances, team record year after year. All of his accolades, his height, his weight. Oh, he could dunk, he can move. If you showed everybody all of those things without his name, they would all be scratching their head too as to why he's not playing. But because his name is Jayson Tatum, maybe I gotta give Steve Kerr credit. Maybe he's not that stupid. Maybe he knows that everybody hates Jayson Tatum. That's why he can do this. Is that what it is? If you change the name, this will be a totally different conversation. The most recent NBA champion on this roster can't help you guys get a victory over Serbia. Like, you couldn't put height on Bogdan. He's 6'5". He's 6'5". I've seen nobody this good get treated this way. It bothers me too. It bothers me too. Like, I get the jokes about, oh, he copying. I get it. He's supposed to get them jokes. But to act as if he has a pretty game now, accolades was the problem. The fact that people act as though Tatum is not one of the best players in the world, it's mind-blowing to me. Because for 82 games, nobody was better than him in his position. Nobody was more dominant than him in his position. I don't get it. I don't. And I saw people, oh, Tyrese Halliburton didn't play. He just got here. Halliburton's lucky to be on this team. Do I think you could have thrown him in there? Yeah, I do. Personally, I do. We've seen the USA, the women's side, play every player every game except one. So you can't tell me it's not possible. And I also see a lot of people still, Luka is way better than JT. I'm just in disbelief. He's not way better. I can accept better, not way better. There's more to the game of basketball than even though I love scoring, but there's more to the game of basketball than shooting the ball. Even though it is probably the most important part of the game, there's more to it than just that. Right? Especially when the other aspects of his game are lacking. Right? To the people that say, oh, but they're winning still. To those people, right? I ask you this. Have you guys ever taken a test? Have you ever taken a test? Whether it was a bubble answer or a math test where you get graded on both the answer and your work. Right? If any of y'all have ever taken a test like that, you and I both know it's possible to get the answer right and to score well. And it's also possible that you guessed and didn't know what the fuck you were doing. It's possible. I've seen a lot of people in math get the right answer, don't know what the fuck they were doing with the work. It matters still. It matters. And you know when it's going to show? During the season with the Warriors. You know when it's going to show? It's been showing. When you lose your stars and you have to build up these players that have no foundation. You see, a lot of people forgot the fact that Mark Jackson built the foundation for the Golden State Warriors. He built their base. And now that Steve Kerr has been tasked to do that, what have we seen? 10th. No playoffs. 2 years in a row. And it's not that he don't have talent. He lost the game where Kuminga was going off. Why? Because he took him out. So clearly, this isn't a one-off thing. It's more of a pattern now, actually. And like I said, maybe I've been too hard on Draymond Green. Maybe we should have been putting the magnifying glass on Steve Kerr and his ability to manage all of those stars on that team all those years. When turmoil came up in the locker room, he wasn't able to manage it. And in some of the innovative things that Steve Kerr maybe was able to do for the Warriors, maybe he lacks the ability to work with people the way Mark Jackson was. Because I'll be honest, I don't think any of that shit would have went down if Mark Jackson was there. Definitely a pattern of facts. I don't think that Kevin Durant, Draymond Green shit happens. Not the way that it did, or at least it wouldn't have been handled in that way. You don't just, especially because what Draymond Green was saying was fact, you don't just suspend him and tell him to go sit in a corner. If y'all are a family for real, y'all have that conversation, that tough conversation. Jordan Poole, that wouldn't have happened. You know why? Because before Draymond goes and punches Jordan Poole for having a mouth, you know who would have told him first? Mark Jackson. Hey, Jordan, shut the fuck up. Way before Draymond. The proof is in the pudding. They were great because they had great players. Kevin Durant saved Steve Kerr too. If it wasn't for Kevin Durant, this, like I've been saying, this Warriors team would probably not be a dynasty. Losing JP was the biggest mess up and the reason they struggled after. Yeah. Jordan Poole relieved a lot of pressure from Klay Thompson at that point. Like I said, man, I think the fall of the Warriors needs to be studied. Steve Kerr's role in it, I think, needs to be highlighted some more. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for certain things going their way, if they didn't get Kevin Durant, they might be a one-hit wonder. They very well could be. And all the narratives, the discourse around some of these guys would be totally different. Steve Kerr included. Like I said, I want to see what he does moving forward. We'll see. We get to see now how good of a coach he really is. Yes, they needed JP, not CP this year. Yeah. They needed points. They needed points. They needed to unleash Kuminga, and Poole would have been nice off the bench. You switch those two, this season looks a lot different. Yeah, 100%. And now I have no faith that you're going to handle Kuminga properly moving forward. That the end of Steph's career is going to look good moving forward. The video that I seen there, Klay Thompson might not be trash. He really might not be. Steve Kerr could just suck. When you have a Klay Thompson that run around as quick as he was doing, stop on a dime before his injury, yeah, all the shit that you guys were doing worked. Post ACL surgery, where just the hair is off, he don't get the little bit of space that he was used to because he can't stop on a dime as fast. He's not as quick no more. You got to be able to adjust as a coach. We've seen Eric Spoelstra take a completely different roster and compete in the playoffs year in and year out. That's a great coach. Kuminga needs to get out of there, head to Toronto. Those guys don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And like I keep saying, man, Bob Myers jumped ship on purpose. It wasn't an accident. He saw the writing was on the wall. He seen the hole in the ship, and he's instead of really telling anybody, he just got off. He's like, I'm not gonna be on this sinking ship. What I'm gonna do now is just talk about you guys. Analyst on ESPN. Brilliant move. Out of all the moves around the NBA, maybe we need to talk about that move a little bit more. Because, wow. Now he gets to take all of the success that he had with the Warriors, and he gets to live off of that now. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal. Let everybody else deal with this bullshit. Oh, man. Wow. I don't think I have another. Yeah, no, I don't have another topic, man. But yeah, that game yesterday, it was one of the greatest. It was the greatest men's USA game that I've ever seen. The Spain games are not even close. And if you beg to differ, go back and watch those games. They're not even close. Like I said, I think this Team USA is winning despite Steve Kerr weighing them down, being a liability. And these players are bailing him out, man. It will probably be the true finals. Yeah, I agree. I don't see France putting up a fight the way Serbia was. Wemby can't control and dictate a game the way that Jokic can. I'm sure he could learn one day, but at this point in time, he can't do that the way that Jokic can, and manage the game and manage emotions and personalities. He's too young still. So I expect them to be able to beat up on France, and get this gold medal. And we got our game of the tournament already. So I'm a happy camper. Like I said, bro, I don't need much in life. I don't. I got 2 phenomenal games yesterday. Hung out with Sam. Got some good food. A spectacular day, bro. You can't ask for more. You can't ask for more. It was a spectacular day. But that's gonna do it for me for now, man. Like I said, there hasn't been much news. Hasn't been much going on outside of these games. So I will be back over the weekend. I'm gonna be here for the gold medal game tomorrow, USA, and on Sunday. So tune in for that. I will see you guys later. That's gonna do it for me for now. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, because it helps the channel out. And like I said, we're gonna take this shit to the moon, bro. We're gonna take this shit to the motherfucking moon. And as always, y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me. So I appreciate you for that. Thank y'all for joining me, man. I will see y'all later. Have a great rest of y'all day. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys for joining me. See you later, man.